everyone. This is Anita, GTM Program Manager for Emerging Technologies at Brillio. Today we have with us Sahara Alexis, Head of Global Mobile Advisory at Brillio. Sahara, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
One of the interesting things that also comes into light is the ability of mobility and analytics and social together. Can you talk about some interesting use cases that you've been doing or you're proposing to your clients about?
One of the things I've been talking to a lot of my clients was the use of information, right? Before there was really a push towards data. How much data do I have? What does that data look like, right? Data didn't become important until it actually had analysis coupled with it, which made it more of information, right? The next wave of that is really taking that information and gaining insights, right? So when you talk about the use of mobile coupled with analytics, companies can do very powerful things in that combination. And I'll use an example of, here's a situation where they're gathering all this information with wearable technologies that's on the onset for mobile within itself. And this data by itself may not be as important, but when you couple it with analytics, you're then able to slice and dice and say, for a particular, or someone that's participating in a certain sport, you can then go down into the details and get habits and behaviors. And then from there, you can start to market towards those behaviors, which is very powerful because you can then do market segmentation on the type of end user that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And then you can tailor your marketing, you can tailor your products, you can tailor the experience of someone that has bought in and now has become loyal to your brand. That was something that companies used to pay millions of dollars for to be able to understand. And now with mobile and analytics, you can actually do that in a very simplistic manner.
That's very interesting. I think today being disruptive is not a choice, but it's the call of the hour. So I would like to ask and understand from you, how do you identify opportunities that are disruptive in nature and how do you go about them?
Well, I would say in the line of mobile, or mobility for that matter, there's some things that have been created that without mobile it wouldn't exist. An example of that was disruptive to payments is Square. Now you can have vendors that pop up and actually have businesses that can take credit cards and get payment right there without having formal infrastructure in place, right? Another example of that is remote check deposit. Would you ever thought that you could deposit a check by using your phone and taking a picture? That is something that has become extremely disruptive in the banking industry. You also will find people nowadays can actually do payments to each other just like you were sitting across the table. 3 years ago, that wasn't possible. And it wasn't possible without the sake of mobile being in the environment that we live in today.
These are interesting use cases in terms of disruptive forces coming into play, but then how do you go about identifying them?
Well, I think one of the things that most organizations don't do or don't take the time to do is to step back and really analyze what the possibilities that are there. Are you trying to drive new business models? Are you trying to create new revenue streams? These are all ways in which you can start to think about something differently and not just enhance the business process, but really radically change the way we think about something. Companies should take an opportunity to really generate ideas around doing things differently. Step away and remove all the barriers in terms of your infrastructure. What is it happening today? This is how I've done it for many years. What about what's possible? Then backtrack and see what needs to change in order for that to be a reality in the world.
Interesting business models that enterprises should be really looking at rewiring themselves through. Brillio's core values, one of the fundamental ones is inspired by potential. How do you see this and how do you apply it to your customers?
Well, I think with the emerging technologies, I think potential is endless. And the reason why I say this is that there's so many different things that are possible. Besides mobile itself, the other emerging technologies that are present are coming to the forefront. And when you couple those two entities together, it's mind-changing. It's mind-boggling, as a matter of fact, as well. And companies, if they take the opportunity to really look at those possibilities and think differently, and I say think differently, meaning flip the model that you think you have on its side, think outside the box. Collaborate with other people that may not be in your industry. Learn from them and ask yourself, are you creating an environment in which people can be innovative? Are you willing to take risks? Are you willing to fail fast? Are you promoting others to think differently and considering a broader base to get those ideas? And I think when people start to consider that, they have the opportunity to be innovative and create better potential for their organizations and therefore drive differentiator in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think that's collaboration in its truest sense. Thank you, Sahara, for talking to us today. It was a sheer pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Anita.